welcome to the Personal Injury Law Show. This show talks about everything current in the law of personal injuries and obviously of importance to you, the viewer. My name's Tony Carbone, personal injury lawyer, 30 years experience. We've tonight I've got Nuncio Tartaglia, a partner in the law firm in insurance law. Good evening, Nunc.
Evening, Tony. Evening, viewers.
And Don Maffia, a partner in motor vehicle accidents in the law firm. Good evening, Don.
Good evening, Tony. Good evening, viewers.
Tonight, viewers, we're very fortunate to have Harry Zachariou. He's a cyclist who was severely injured in a motor vehicle accident. He's going to tell us about his life after the accident and its challenges, so stay tuned for that.
Before we kick off though, Tony, what's been in the news this week?
There's been a lot of stories, Nonce, but the first one I'll start off with is the murder compo for the Williams daughter. She's 14 years of age and she's going to get a payout of nearly
Yeah, so
$200,000.
we've discussed this over the course of, I think, the journey of the case, and Dakota has finally reached a settlement with the state government after the murder of her father, Carl Williams.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, George, who's the grandfather, and Roberta withdrew their claims.
Well, they had to because they passed an order to prevent them from...
Yeah, it's getting only 10% of what it was. So that all came out about the end. And look, it's still got to be approved by the court because she's a minor. But I'm sort of glad this didn't get heard in the public forum by virtue of a trial.
Well, Don, I think she's entitled because she's got no part to play in the deeds or misdeeds of her dad and mother.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, it's interesting because it started like 2 years ago, and it's the state government intervention that prohibited Roberta and George to recover any damages. And then within not even a month, they settled Dakota. So it was all set up by the government.
Well, it was a bit harsh too, retrospective legislation. I mean, we don't really like that, do we?
Yeah, and it's that legislation to really combat two people, and that was Roberta and George. So the results there, and it's over, and we've just got to move on.
Well, it also picks up future people that want to sue. I mean, it could include them.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. With prior convictions.
Yep.
All right, let's keep moving. What about these apartments in Mount Waverley that are collapsing around them? No, it's just bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, look, you have to look at the picture to see how severe it is. Yeah, so there's potentially collapsing homes and houses and apartments and the like around a medical and childcare centre that's going to be built. And it seems like Don, the developer, has put his head in the sand, pardon the pun.
Well, he has.
He's
It looks like
delusional,
the house.
isn't
Yes, well, we just look at it. I mean, this could go even further to the council. Why will council approve something unless he's
Well, why wouldn't you have barricades around the wall? I mean, we
That's
had
just
all
remarkable.
This, it
You
is
look at
winter.
they built a pit, an absolute pit next to houses. Like, surely it's foreseeable that something like we've had heavy rainfall, and that was the cause of the landslide, which is causing the collapse. But
they're the reason why you had the landslides because they've dug it out so deep and so close to the houses.
Well, and this is a medical centre, childcare centre next to residential. Surely there's got to be all planning permits and all these council regulations to govern this, to prevent something like this happening.
Well, the owners and also the tenants are going to have claims. That's all I can say.
Look, no doubt they're currently in hotels, and the developer wants to stop footing the bill. But if I was him, I'd keep paying.
Exactly. I totally agree.
Hey, Don, cycling ban in certain roads in the city.
Yeah.
King Street in particular, they don't want cyclists to be in there because it's so dangerous. I tend to agree with that because, I mean, we talk about how do you have the cars and cycles on the roads together? It's been like a battle over the years, hasn't it?
Well, it has, and this comes from the local council, so the Melbourne City Council, who have made recommendations to Vic Roads. So Vic Roads are the ones who can restrict sort of bicycles and traffics on these roads, and to pretty much prohibit bicycle riding on three main thoroughfares.
Because they're too dangerous. Is that the issue?
It's too dangerous.
Yeah.
There's trucks, there's buses and all these things. Now, on one hand, that's great because of safety reasons, for sure. But then on the other hand, you've got the bicycle Victoria. In Victoria, they're saying, well, look, that just sort of contradicts the livability of the city if you're restricting your passengers, cyclists and all these. So there's two competing arguments.
It is a double-edged sword because they're trying to get people, I suppose, off cars and public transport or bikes, do what you have to do, but then they're limiting the accessibility of it all. So, look, I don't think, to be honest with you, can please everyone in this case. I'm first and foremost for safety, so if it's going to reduce any accidents or situations of that nature, then I'm all for that.
Well, the streets that they're talking about, which are mainly Lonsdale and Flinders, I think they're very tight and there's a lot of buses.
Yeah, there is.
Buses don't generally see cyclists too good.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's buses, cars, vehicles don't see cyclists.
They don't see cars, how are they going to see bikes?
And then, look at there's that picture of that gentleman who's on his bike trying to send a text message at the same time. Well, sometimes you've got to make sure
and listen to music as well.
And listen to music, so says it all.
if we did that in the car, you'd probably lose 6 points.
Yeah,
mention all the fines.
I think it's 4 points, and I think the fines are up to nearly $500.
There you go.
So
to be off the road. Burger chain grilled has finally been grilled themselves. They've reinstated this girl, no?
Yeah, so she lost her job being accused of bullying some senior managers, and then Don just rightfully pointed out that I think just recently, yesterday, she
got reinstated.
got a job back. But I think it all stems from the fact that she wanted to change really the rate of pay at grilled establishments, in particular the Carbone one she was working at, and she wanted to be based on industry entitlements. And she made an application.
The EBA is lower than the actual award. I find that extraordinary.
Yeah, so all she wanted was an award, and she got a petition. So I'm not sure how it's bullying, but a petition of 8 of her colleagues, only 8, and put it to the management, and they sacked her.
Yeah.
So, but she's been reinstated.
But how did the union agree to this EBA? That's I'd like to know.
Yeah, well, that's going to be considered by Fair Work Australia now.
Yeah, because it was privately run franchise, whether they have to.
No, but it's a whole organisation.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy set of circumstances. This is a very sad case. This tree collapsed on mother and daughter, killing the daughter. No, the sad thing about this is there's a lot of debate between arborists as to whether this tree should have been cut down.
Yeah, so it's before the coroner's finding or inquest at the moment, and there's a lot of issues in dispute between the different arborists as to one, what did the tree look like before the accident, and what would have you located or find? Hindsight's a great thing, but there's a suspicion, or the way it looks like it's indicating, is that the person that inspected 3 months before and gave it the sign-off probably didn't do a good enough job.
Well, he spent 3 minutes looking at the tree.
Yeah.
He inspected the tree and he said it was all right, but although its structure wasn't ideal. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
to me, it's just a bit of a sign-off and not taking that extra precaution.
Yeah.
Look,
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter really what the coroner finds, because I still think they'll pursue a claim because the injuries are so severe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's right. I mean, if the structure wasn't ideal, wouldn't you just, a reasonable person, just inquire further and get a cherry pick and check the full tree, the structure of the tree? But they didn't.
Or if in doubt, cut the bloody thing down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyhow, look, it's a very sad state of affairs, this one.
Yeah, well, I think there'll be more on this one, so we'll keep in the loop.
Viewers, we've got to get on a sponsors break. After the break, we'll be talking to Harry Zachariou. Viewers, welcome back to the show. As I said before the break, we're very fortunate to have Harry Zachariou, who had a very nasty cycling accident involving a car. And Harry sustained an incomplete fracture of a C7 vertebrae in his neck, and Don very close to being paralysed. But fortunately for Harry and his family, he's here to tell us the story. Welcome aboard, Harry.
Thanks very much, Sonny.
Harry, tell us a bit about yourself in terms of your background.
Well, I work with Australia Post in IT, married with 2 children. Just an average suburban
you played a bit of sport?
I played sport, yeah. I played hockey. I used to compete in triathlons.
Yep.
Busy sort of lifestyle.
You're also fit. You used to cycle to work?
I did cycle to work, yeah.
And that's about a 16-kilometre...
A 16-kilometre one-way trip, yeah.
One-way trip every day to work, or most days.
Most days,
before the accident. Yeah. So you're quite fit before this accident happened.
Yep.
Don, it's amazing how on the outside Harry looks good, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'd have to guess that you're full of pains all over. Is that right, Harry?
The doctor said to me, people are going to look at you and actually say to you, Harry, you look very well. And inside you're going to feel like killing them because you feel like absolute, well, let's just say crap.
Yes.
Yeah, because the pain, you're riddled with pain and...
all day, every day.
All day, every day, yeah.
Don, on that fateful morning, it was the 8th of July 2009, Harry's going down St George's Road, normal course of events, in the bike lane, mind you. Yeah. Yep. Car fails to stop. And he's braked to avoid him. The car then speeds off. And he's come off his bike and landed on your head. Is that correct, Harry?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Do you recall much of the accident?
I recall flying off the seat and having a couple of choice words to the driver just before I passed out, or I thought I passed out, and landing on my head and waking up. Only for a split second I was out.
Okay.
And just realising then that I was in a bit of trouble because I couldn't move any part of my body.
And when did you come to? On the ground or in the hospital?
No, on the ground.
Okay.
I came to pretty much straight away. It was just a split second that I was out. But I knew straight away that I couldn't. I was in trouble because my hand still looked like it was holding the handlebar, and I couldn't move anything, and it took a lot of strength just to move it.
And Harry, so taken to hospital, and you're diagnosed with an incomplete quadriplegia.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that means severed nerves, but not completely severed. So not a complete quadriplegia, incomplete.
Incomplete quadriplegic. I was basically paralysed from around about the chest down, and I couldn't move my arms, I couldn't move my legs. Everything just from there down didn't work, and even to this day, everything is affected from that point down. It's even though I can walk, I'm partially paralysed, and I have a lot of pain and pins and needles, numbness in the feet and legs, and obviously in the stomach, and the arms always hurt. I even have to wear like sleeves underneath my sleeves to stop the cloths from rubbing, just so I can wear a bit more clothing in winter to stop the cold from penetrating the muscles.
Harry, you set yourself a number of goals, didn't you?
I did, yes.
And one was to walk again.
Yes, it was.
How long did that take?
Well, that was a no-brainer. It took about 3 months from the day of the accident to confidently start walking and do it without any assistance, any bars or walking sticks. It wasn't easy, but it took a lot of hard work, and even to this day, it's a lot of hard work to just maintain that the ability to keep walking.
Don, just curiously, if you've got an incomplete fracture and you've got severed nerves, is there some risk if you fall that you could become complete?
Yeah, well, it's always that risk because
Yeah.
it's all unstable. So
Yep.
that's the thing. I think we spoke, Harry, you also eventually had surgery to your neck to stabilise that level, which is C7. But initially, Harry, what was the doctor's prognosis to you? What were they saying to you initially?
Well, I wasn't listening to them, obviously. But the doctor did say that I would be a quadriplegic and I'm likely never to walk again, which was a bit hard to hear. But at the same time, I had my family with me and I had my friends, and it was a goal of mine to just basically get up and walk again. I could wriggle my left toe, and I just thought, well, if I can get a message from here to that little toe some way, then I'll find a way to move the messages across to all the other parts of the body and get myself up and about. And hey, it was a good win.
Harry, how much physical therapy do you have, or did you have at the start, and what's the situation today?
Look, I think you can never get enough rehabilitation. I spent 3 months in hospital, two and a half weeks in hospital, and 3 months in rehab full time, and then I was doing part-time rehab for nearly 2 years, and now I do a little bit of physiotherapy. I do my private acupuncture, and I also see a reflexologist. You start to, I guess, look for different avenues to help yourself through rehabilitation, and it's an ongoing process as far as I'm concerned.
Don, Harry got a payout, and I don't want to go into the details or amounts, but it would have been for pain and suffering, loss of enjoyment of life, and some loss of income.
Correct.
Now, if he had to stay at home, that component for loss of income would have been a lot higher than what he got.
Well, look, but on the flip side of that, the law does put an obligation to
mitigate.
to mitigate your losses. So, and Harry, it's a remarkable story because the doctors initially said you won't be able to walk.
Yeah.
And you've actually, like you said, you've proved them wrong. And you know, in this
Well,
industry, we
he's gone back
understand
to
you
work.
don't really see this. Well, that's
He's actually
one.
gone back
Walk
to
again
work.
was the
Well,
major.
I'm working full time. I've been full time for nearly 4 years
since
now.
2011,
Yep,
October.
that's right. Yep.
And are you still doing the same duties you were doing before the accident?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
What, you're in front of the computer?
Yeah, I'm a desk jockey, you could say. Yeah, drive a
I
monitor.
don't have a neck injury. I can't stay there for... How many hours do you do?
I'm full time. Sometimes we'll do eight or 9 hours. I've got a desk that I can actually lift up and stand up and work from.
So you move, constantly moving?
I am, yeah. I've got the ability to do that.
Okay.
So.
And also, you recently went on a bike ride to raise money for the Royal Talbot Hospital, is that correct?
Yeah, I did that on the anniversary of, I think the 2nd or 3rd anniversary of the accident. And yeah, we raised in excess of $7,000.
Okay. We've got to go to a sponsors break, Harry. After a break, we'll take up this conversation about you and the bike ride and how you're progressing.
No worries.
Stay tuned, viewers. Viewers, welcome back to the show. We're with Harry discussing his incredible story about getting knocked off his bike, getting back on his feet, getting back to work. Harry, it's just an incredible story, isn't it, Don? I mean, it's amazing. It really gives...
Harry, you made yourself 4. Now you tell me you got 5 goals. So one was walk again, just ticked. One was return to work, which you've done. One was the bike ride. And also, you were playing, the 4th one was getting back on a hockey pitch. So you actually played a game of hockey.
A full game of hockey. I got to play on the forward line in the first part of the game, and that was an absolute blast. Unfortunately, they didn't tell me that they had sort of planned the game around my return, so they were just pumping me full of the ball. So I got so much ball in the forward line. If I didn't score, there would have been something wrong. I got 3 goals out of 10. That
the opposition played ball, or was
it was 2 Footscray teams, so you know it was great that the association could come to the party and organise for 2 Footscray teams to play against each other in a lower grade competition.
And that was your 479th match.
That was number 479. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Tony, there's some footage on the TAC website of Harry playing that game. There's a little clip there about Harry's goals and how he actually got back to...
And how do you access that? You just go to www.
Yeah, tac.vic.gov.au.
And punch in Harry's name.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the last one is you're going to do a triathlon.
Yes, I am.
Geez, I reckon you and I would be hard pressed to do this one, Don. 150 metre swim, I got no over doing that. 7 kilometre bike ride, I might just scramble through that. And 1.2 kilometre run. I'm worried about you on that one, Don.
Oh, I think so, Tony.
Well, it's more in my case, it'll be more of a 1.2 kilometre limp.
Jog.
But, yeah, I'll get there in the end.
You'll get there.
I reckon you'd get the 1.2 run, Don.
You challenged me, Tony, eh? So, look, you've done all these goals, and look, you're still in a lot of pain, which would say. I think we'll ask you off shoot what medication you're taking. So you're still taking painkillers and also Lyrica. And my understanding of Lyrica is that that's for nerve pain. Yeah,
it is. Look, there are other options as far as painkillers are concerned, but I'd rather stay away from any of the opiates, heavy opiate sort of painkillers, because while I was in the hospital and I was being given the OxyContin and OxyNorm type medication, I was just...
Off your tree.
I was loopy, yeah. I was not a nice person to be around, so I was happy to be off that.
Harry, is it fair to say you've got a lot of ups and downs?
Yeah, it is fair to say that, and there are moments where, everything gets the better of you, but at the end of the day, just got to look forward and look forward to doing more things, and that's why I like to set some goals so that I don't just sit there, wait for things to happen, because nothing's going to happen unless you make it happen.
But just for the people out there that are suffering and have got other issues apart from accidents, when you're in your darkest moment, what do you think of? What is it? Give them some tips on how to bounce back.
Look, just think forward. Don't look back, because if you're looking back, you're gonna bump into something. If you're not looking as to where you're going, you always look.
So set yourself a little goal.
Set yourself the goals, but have people around you that that love you and want to be with you, and you know, hang around those people. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of people that are no longer part of my life. Yeah. But look, you know, that some people just can't deal with this sort of trauma. So their way of dealing with it is by divorcing themselves from you. So, but that's fine, and I don't dislike that from happening. It's life, and that's what happens. So,
hey Don, I'd normally come to you and say if you have an accident or if you got uncertain about what to do, speak to a lawyer that deals with these sorts of issues.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid at the Harry this time. Maybe you can ask him.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Harry, of course, we always say you always should get some legal advice, particularly in these circumstances, because lawyers can direct you in the right way. Harry, from your end, how important was it to get legal advice for you?
look, my wife was ready to sell the house to
make ends meet.
Well, to support my my rehabilitation. So to hear your wife wanting to do that is hard to hear. So yeah, it was very important to get the right legal advice and to make sure that your family's looked after, because at the end of the day, you know, somebody was to blame. People say to me, you know, do you hate the person who did this to you? I don't hate that. He's made a mistake. We all make mistakes. In this case, you know, I was hurt, but that doesn't matter. The fact is that the law is there to protect you, and the law has looked after me. And you know, by seeking the right legal advice up front, I was able to you know, to at least not sell the house. You know, we're by no means looked after 100%, but you know, I'm working full time, so I'm happy I can still support my family. And
Harry, you do a lot of charity work, is that correct? Or you try and do a bit?
I try, yeah.
Yeah, and you're working with people in similar circumstances to yourself, or worse off than you?
Yes, I do. I like to catch up with some of the people who you know, have got spinal cord injuries, who you know, I try and get down to Talbot as much as I can. Haven't been able to recently, but when I do go in there, I try and find somebody who's at the lowest ebb, and try and just give them a bit of hope. I'm not going to tell them that they're going to walk, because that's not my role.
Although with technology, you know,
look,
coming in leaps and bounds.
Over the journey, I guess what I can tell you is that more people are walking out of that place rather than wheeling themselves out of that place. So, you know, there's still hope out there for them, and exercise has been the one thing that's been the factor that's brought it all together for them.
Well, when you walk into Royal Talbot and you see someone who's quadriplegic or an incomplete quadriplegic, does it take much convincing to tell them that it is possible to walk again?
I say to them that, you know, if they don't try, it's not going to happen for them. I don't tell them they're going to walk, but what they can do is they can try and just have a crack. You know, it's all about having a go, and you know, hopefully the system can look after them. And the problem is that you've got your insureds and your non-insureds, and the NDIS hopefully will help those that are not insured when that comes in.
What's the future hold for Harry?
Oh, Harry's going to just keep kicking goals. Yeah, hoping to get overseas on a tropical holiday, because this cold is really getting to my muscles. Hopefully Vietnam. We'll see how we go with that.
And Harry, just curiously, do you think you could probably work in an area like this, rehab, in the future?
Look, that was the one thing that my wife said to me. Yeah, you probably have to change careers now. This is when the accident happened, and you know, I did give it some thought, and I am working with some people, but you know, it may well be the case that that's what's going to happen. You know, who knows with work and whether, you know, I'm secure in my job, but you know, one day down the track, hopefully I can, you know, maybe give back to those people and hopefully help somebody else achieve some goals.
Harry, your story will help a lot of the trauma victims, just to hear what you've gone through, where you've gone, and see how from one stage where doctors have told you that you'll never walk again to where you are today. So from my end, congratulations, because that's a long journey and it's a great story to tell.
Thank you.
Harry, thanks for coming on board. We're coming to the end of the show. I'll get you back another time. We'll see how you're going into the future. Don, as usual, thanks.
Thank you.
Viewers, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for future episodes. Go to our past episodes. Go to our social media platforms. And always remember to stay safe.